Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Entertainment. Running Man Crazy Rebellion, stunned by Bailu Lin Fei, crossed over to a social phobic little fresh meat and entered the Running Man program, bound to the rebel system. As long as you constantly rebel and ignore the rules, you can receive various rewards. Please unlock the password box within 30 minutes and receive a prompt. Lin Fei is playing rebellious, smashing the password box onto the ground and locking it open. Listen to the song and recognize the melody. Which team answers the most, which team wins. Lin Fei directly locked all members of the other party in their rooms and refused to answer questions. Tearing off Famous BrandsLin Fei disguised himself as a staff member, exchanged the brand name, and had Big Black Bull personally tear off his own brand name. Program team. This guy is here to ruin the show, isn't he, the eye-catching bag. Bailu. This is not Lin Fei whom I know. Netizens. This guy is too rebellious. Do you call it social anxiety? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Social fear becomes social bull, your hands touch well. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 2. Song Yuqi. Don't run if you have a seed. Stinky. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hashtag Infernal Artist Chicken Brother, quit Running Man hashtag substitute member, Lin Fei, will enter Running Man hashtag with the release of 2 hot searches. For a while. The internet is in chaos. Fans of Brother G are extremely indignant. You guys have gone too far in running errands. Isn't it just our brother making a mistake? No one can be innocent unless they are sages. Your public relations are also too fast. Don't forget the honor our brother once brought you. Humph, Lin Fei also deserves to replace our brother's reputation. Sorry, who is Lin Fei? I haven't heard of him. Just a scumbag, he's so scared of society that he can get angry. I'll stand on my head and defecate. Of course. Some passers-by, upon seeing the adjustment of the members of the Running Man, immediately showed their doubts. Lin Fei. Isn't this guy's social anxiety? He's still nervous when he comes on stage, and he offended many seniors because of social anxiety before. He came to participate in variety shows. Can't he be mute? What does the Running Man think? I don't want to watch this episode anymore, I feel like there isn't much program effect. Can the Running Man show group serve dim sum? At this moment, the online topic is quite high. The popularity of a search engine on Sohu alone has reached billions, and it is obvious that most of the male fans are very dissatisfied with Lin Fei's appearance. Director, what should we do? The deputy director shook his head and said, many people say that if Lin Fei participates, they won't watch. Yao Dao said, the contract has already been signed. At this point, it's definitely not possible to let him quit. It's a big deal. Give him a little less camera time, and we'll hold on to this episode first. Director Yao is also helpless. Now we can only hope that Lin Fei won't make any jokes. Over here. Not knowing what happened online, Lin Fei had already boarded a plane to Zhejiang province. The new generation of running men. Recorded in a small town in Zhejiang province. Hey, are you Lin Fei? Just as Lin Fei was about to take a nap. A pleasant sound came from the ear. Song Yuqi was pleasantly surprised. It's really you, what a coincidence. We used to have the same flight. Lin Fei also looked surprised. What a coincidence. I didn't expect to meet Song Yuqi here. This little girl, 99 years old, has a sweet appearance and debuted in the country, so her body management is quite outstanding. At this moment, she Wearing a pair of hot pants that are short to the base of the thighs. As far as the eye can see. It's all a patch of white flowers. Ding, the rebellious system has been successfully activated. Encounter Song Yuqi, make a rebellious choice. Option 1. Do not rebel, do not chat with Song Yuqi, reward the title of High Cold Male God. Option 2. Don't rebel, chat with Song Yuqi, reward Song Yuqi's favorability +3. Option 3. Rebellion. Tell Song Yuqi to mistake the person, make her embarrassed, reward her with master-level car repair skills. What I'm playing is rebellion. After Lin Fei made up his mind, he suddenly spoke in Japanese. Nanny. Hey. Song Yuqi was clearly taken aback. She had never had any contact with Lin Fei before, and it was because after Lin Fei joined Running Man, she searched for his photos online and had some impressions. But the person in front of me is speaking Japanese. Are they Japanese people? Did you admit your mistake? Aren't you Lin Fei? Song Yuqi's voice became cautious, probing. Next second. Lin Fei spoke in a strange tone. Miss, there is an ancient saying in China that goes, those who practice martial arts are heroes. Please don't disturb me when I sleep. Song Yuqi immediately became visibly panicked and said, yes. I'm sorry, I got the wrong person, I'm sorry. Then he fled like a wind. Only the smile on Lin Fei's lips. Congratulations to the host, playing cards without following the routine, completing rebellion, and obtaining master-level car repair skills. You, who possess master-level car repair skills, no longer talk about anything from three-wheelers to motorcycles, small cars, or trucks. In front of you, there is no car that you cannot repair. Is this the feeling of rebellion? Great. 1 hour later. The plane landed at the airport. Bailu, let me tell you, I just got the wrong person. It's embarrassing. There's someone who looks very similar to Lin Fei, but turns out to be a Japanese. What else do you say? A martial arts practitioner is a hero. Song Yuqi was on the phone with Bailu, only to hear a silver bell-like laughter coming from the other end. Ha ha ha. Hush. It's over. I bumped into him again. Do you think I should apologize to him or something? Song Yuqi noticed that Lin Fei was walking in front of her and heading towards the airport gate together. She thought for a moment. Still apologizing for the rude behavior just now, I quickly walked up to Lin Fei. Hello sir, I'm sorry, I mistook the wrong person just now. I was impolite first, please forgive me. The quality of Chinese people is still necessary, after all, it is a country of etiquette, and this point of etiquette still needs to be emphasized. The words fell. Lin Fei remained motionless, and Song Yuqi thought he couldn't understand. She immediately racked her brains and exhausted her lifelong Japanese language. Wally. Ah no. I didn't deduct NAS. This silly girl. Lin Fei couldn't handle it all at once. He originally just wanted to play with Song Yuqi, but he didn't expect her to take it seriously. In this situation, it's better not to admit it for now. Immediately in Japanese. Big husband, it's okay, the two of them looked at each other and smiled. I thought this matter was just exposed. I didn't expect it. You two have been waiting for a long time. I am a staff member of the Running Man program group. Welcome to the new episode of Running Man recording. This recording is in the town, which is still 3 kilometers away from the town. You must walk on foot. Before you, some members have already gone up. The top 3 members who arrive will receive additional rewards when tearing off the nameplates. Please hurry up, both of you. As the voices of the staff fell, Song Yuqi's expression became increasingly strange, not even listening to the task. Her beautiful eyes widened, staring straight at Lin Fei. Wait, he just said. Are you also a guest? No, you heard me wrong. Okay, can you speak Chinese? So you were just lying to me. You got the wrong person. That was my half-brother just now. Get out of here. Lin Fei, stop me. Killing 1,000 knives, don't run away if you have the guts. The voice of Song Yuqi's exclamation echoed over the airport. P.S. Kneel down and beg for flowers and review tickets. Thank you all. The new book is on its way, and these data are really important. They are the driving force that supports me to continue writing. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will receive 5 rewards at 10 p.m. 1 yuan is enough. If the number of flowers exceeds 3,000, I will receive 10 p.m. 10 shifts. Chapter 3. This is called being deceived by intelligence instead of being clever. Kneel down. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. At present, the live broadcast room has been opened, and tens of thousands of netizens have flocked to it. Rush into the live broadcast room. Everyone is eagerly anticipating it. However, the current scene left them stunned. No, I made a mistake. Is this a running man? It's getting fierce. Seeing Song Yuqi chasing Lin Fei and fighting, what's the situation? They have such a good relationship. No, what did I miss? Did I fast forward to tearing off the nameplate? No, they don't have the nameplate behind them either. Flirting and flirting. Song Yuqi wouldn't like Lin Fei, would she? It is said that Lin Fei is a social anxiety disorder. It's not like Song Yuqi unilaterally bullied Lin Fei, is it? That's not good, is it? You stop. I don't. I promise not to hit you. Pull it down, you don't need to hit it with your hands, and then kick it with your feet, right? Song Yuqi, if I stand still, I'll be so foolish. You. No, who would be deceived by that low-level scam? People with an IQ greater than 20 know it's fake. Okay, you scold me for having low IQ, Lin Fei, I'm not finished with you. The conversation between the two was once again transmitted to the live broadcast room. The netizens who were originally planning to help Lin Fei say a few words suddenly froze. It seems that it was Lin Fei who first deceived Song Yuqi, and then Song Yuqi became angry and embarrassed before pursuing Lin Fei. No, isn't Lin Fei social anxiety? Seeing him like this, there isn't much social anxiety either. Yeah, was it reported incorrectly? It's impossible. Last time he sang on stage, he nervously sang the wrong lyrics. I was in the first row. In short, the pursuit and playfulness between the two also added a touch of heat to the live broadcast room. The barrage has never stopped since it started broadcasting. 2 of you, please hurry to the small town. A sentence from the staff startled Song Yuqi, especially when she saw the camera, she was taken aback. It's done. The violent scene just now must have been captured. The image of my own lady is completely gone. I'm not sure how netizens are slandering themselves now. Damn it. It's all Lin Fei's fault. Humph, this matter is not over, you wait for me. Song Yuqi put down her harsh words and left immediately. See the situation. Lin Fei also followed out. It's summer. The scorching heat is unbearable. It's afternoon again, the temperature outside is very high, and the scorching sun seems to be melting people. On such a hot day, let's walk 3 kilometers. Song Yuqi looked at the endless path in the distance and suddenly started to beat her back. If she had walked up, she would have had to sunburn twice. Don't do it. At this very moment, she saw Lin Fei beside her. I saw Lin Fei walking towards the shared electric scooter on the street to visit. What? Song Yuqi was stunned. Does this guy want to ride a bike? No, it's not a rule for the production team, only walking is allowed. This guy is too rebellious. Over here. Congratulations to the host for their rebellious choice, option 1. Don't rebel, follow the path directly to the small town, reward stamina +1. Option 2. Rebellion. Ignoring the rules and riding directly. Reward master level swimming skills. What I'm playing is rebellion. Without saying a word, Lin Fei directly chose the second option. After successfully scanning the code, he rode onto the shared battery bike and quickly left Song Yuqi's sight. What? Song Yuqi was like a living fossil, frozen in place. Lying trough. This guy actually ignores the rules. No. Song Yuqi suddenly thought of something. The rules say we can only walk up, but they don't say what punishment there will be if we ride a bike. No punishment, just no punishment. Yes. I'll ride too. Speaking. She quickly scanned the code and also rode her bike to follow Lin Fei. At this moment, the barrage exploded instantly. Sleeping slot. Ha ha ha. We agreed to walk, but you both rode bikes, right? Okay. The new episode of Running Man is interesting. These two people just broke the rules. Skip the punishment directly. I'm laughing to death. This Lin Fei is really brave. You said, general social anxiety, dare you do this? If you really scan the QR code and ride a bike, Lin Fei, you're going to laugh at me. And seeing all of this, Director Yao. I'm also a bit confused. These shared electric scooters were intentionally left there by him for the purpose of fishing law enforcement. He certainly thought about it too. Some celebrities will definitely not follow the rules, it could be Deng Chao or Jing Kai. But he really didn't expect it. Surprisingly, it's Lin Fei. Ride. Every electric bike has been tampered with by the program team. After riding for a while, you will find that it can't be ridden at all, and you will have to push the bike to the town to increase your exercise. Director Yao looked at the scene on camera with a strange smile. This wave is called. Cleverness is often mistaken by cleverness. P.S. Kneel down and beg for flowers and review tickets. Thank you all. The new book is on its way, and these data are really important. They are the driving force that supports me to continue writing. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. There are 5 rewards, and 1 yuan is enough. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. If the flowers exceed 3,000, I will have 10 updates. Chapter 4. You, a little fresh meat, actually want to repair a car. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On the road leading to the town. Lin Fei and Song Yuqi rode their electric scooters leisurely, one in front and one behind. Song Yuqi thought happily. The production team was too careless. When arranging the task, they forgot that in today's society, there are shared cars everywhere on the streets of the city. Actually, it's not a big deal. Mainly, normal people cannot rebel like Lin Fei. On the first day of participating in the program, I started to defy the rules. Speaking of this, Song Yuqi suddenly thought of it. Thanks to Lin Fei, I was able to avoid the torture of walking 3 kilometers under the scorching sun. She muttered to herself, if that's the case, then forgive him and cancel the previous matter. Just as Song Yuqi was thinking this way, the speed of the electric scooter she was riding suddenly slowed down. In the end, it was like a lazy cat sunbathing, lying down motionless. Hey! Song Yuqi looked puzzled. Thinking to myself, is there no electricity left? Just wanted Lin Fei in front to stop and wait for him. As soon as I looked up, I noticed. Lin Fei's electric scooter also parked on the roadside. In the program team. Jia. Upon seeing this scene, Director Yao let out a fierce smile. The car is broken, can't you ride it anymore? There's no way to park in this place, so just stand up against the big sun and push towards the small town. Likes to be lazy, right? Likes to be rebellious, right? That's the consequence. The deputy director said in admiration. It still needs to be Director Yao. Jiang is really old and spicy. At first, I thought it was unnecessary to tamper with the electric scooter. In the live broadcast room of the program. After the audience saw this scene, the number of bullet comments immediately surged. Why did you suddenly stop? Out of battery. If the car runs out of battery, they should know it before they even leave. It's probably because the car has a problem. Can there still be a problem with the shared battery car? How do I feel like the production team tampered with it? Remove the feeling, it must be Director Yao's guess. There will be people who don't follow the rules thinking about electric scooters, so it's probably arranged. Director Yao is also an old 6. If it were another director, it's probably not allowed to ride an electric scooter according to the direct rules. This is called, the way is 1 foot high, the devil is 1 foot high. Ha ha ha. When the audience is cheering. On the roadside. Song Yuqi stared at the stationary electric scooter. No matter how late she realized it. At this point, I also realized that I was likely falling into the trap of the program team. Song Yuqi mourned in her heart. Don't let me ride an electric bike, just say no directly. Surprisingly sneakily tampering with the electric scooter. Is this too damaging? Director Yao. You are such a big 6. But complaints come with complaints. After all, this matter is due to my own lack of discipline, and I deserve it first. So Song Yuqi could only silently accept the consequences of having to push the car to the small town. Song Yuqi struggled to push the cart. While complaining, he glanced at Lin Fei in front of him. It's all Lin Fei's fault. It's not him, how could he have thought of an electric scooter? At this point, the live broadcast room of the program is filled with a joyful atmosphere. I remember she originally wanted to walk honestly, but she started following the trend after watching Lin Fei ride his bike. What did she say at that time? Without saying, punishment, there was no punishment. This slap in the face was really fast. Lin Fei has suffered a lot. The main issue is that the production team is too damaged. Who would have thought that the shared tram parked on the roadside was a trap? He can only push the tram to the small town now. The scorching sun makes me feel suffocating as I walk past, and I have to push a dead electric scooter. It's painful to think about it. Who said they don't follow the rules? Ha ha ha. Song Yuqi pushed the car forward a few steps in frustration. Seeing Lin Fei motionless. Just ask, what are you staring at? Lin Fei didn't speak. After a brief moment of confusion, a crazy idea suddenly flashed through my mind. Didn't I just get the ability to repair cars from the system? If the repair capability provided by the system is utilized, is it possible to repair this electric scooter? Whatever, give it a try first. Lin Fei muttered and squatted directly next to the electric scooter, burying his head in pounding. Song Yuqi asked in confusion. Lin Fei, what are you doing? She stared for a while, and her expression became strange. You're not trying to fix the electric scooter, are you? It's impossible, give up. Program team. Upon seeing this scene, Director Yao was shocked and said. This guy is actually repairing a car. The deputy director said. I guess I've read some articles online related to car repairs, so I feel like I'm good at it. But it seems that our movements are relatively simple, so we won't really be fooled by him. Are we ready to tinker with it? Director Yao laughed and said, no matter how simple your hands and feet are, they are still moving generators. If he can fix the car, I will live stream washing my hair upside down. In the live broadcast room of the program. After the audience saw this scene, I was completely shocked. Sleeping slot. Lin Fei is actually repairing a car. Ha ha ha. What a talented person. This is a broken tram, isn't it a broken bike chain? Is Lin Fei serious? He seems to be really serious. Look, he has already taken out the battery. No, I chuckled. He's a young star in the 18th tier. Where did he get this kind of confidence? If he can fix the car, I'll live stream Eat Xiang. On the roadside. Lin Fei also pulled out the motor. Holding a screwdriver and wrench. Rolling back and forth. The people next to Song Yuqi were all dumbfounded. Why did you bring a screwdriver and a wrench when you came to participate in the running boy competition? The system provided it. Of course, this cannot be said. Lin Fei casually replied, actually, being a celebrity is just a job. I have always longed to become a proud mechanic. Song Yuqi was speechless. Want to become a mechanic? What strange ideals are these? And repairing the car in front of so many spectators. Make yourself look disheveled. Are you sure you're a social anxiety disorder? Song Yuqi withdrew her chaotic thoughts, glanced at the scorching sun in the sky, and said to Lin Fei, don't mess around aimlessly. Hurry up and push the car away, otherwise I won't wait for you. You go first. Lin Fei is still working hard. Is this guy carrying straw in his head? Do you really think you can fix the car? Song Yuqi couldn't help roast. Then he pushed the car and left first. But she walked for less than 5 minutes. Suddenly, the sound of tires puncturing the ground came from behind. P.S. Kneel down and beg for flowers and review tickets. Thank you all. The new book is on its way, and these data are really important. They are the driving force that supports me to continue writing. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. There are 5 rewards, and 1 yuan is enough. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. If the flowers exceed 3,000, I will have 10 updates. Chapter 5. Social Fear. Social Terrorists, right. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This translator is experiencing an error, please try another translator. Chapter 6. Is sold to Lin Fei, and I have to help Lin Fei count the money. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zheng Kai listened to the other party's humming songs. I can fully imagine how happy the other person's mood should be. He feels envious in his heart. Even gave rise to some delusions. The other party may be willing to take themselves on a journey. But soon, he began to mock himself for his foolishness. Is this a fool's head being exposed to the sun? That director with a heart like Rome Mama. How could it be so kind? Hey! Hey! Zheng Kai let out 2 long sighs. Take heavy steps and continue to struggle forward. But at this moment, the sound of the electric car behind him is getting closer and closer. Immediately afterwards, a blue electric scooter overtook him. Zheng Kai caught a glimpse of the cyclist's face from the corner of his eye. For a moment, I felt a bit familiar. And at this moment, the cyclist suddenly stopped in front of Zheng Kai. Turning around, he greeted with a smile. Oh! Isn't this Zheng Kai? He came quite early. Zheng Kai already had a strong opinion of the program team. After hearing this person talking to me like this, my heart immediately became unhappy. What's wrong with this staff member? Why not be polite at all? Zheng Kaizheng is preparing to vent his anger with a few harsh sentences. But as soon as I lift my head, I feel confused. He finally understood why he felt familiar after just crossing the river with the cyclist. Emotion is not a staff member who rides bicycles at all. But it's Lin Fei, a well-known social anxiety celebrity online. He remembers. Brother G is unable to participate in the program due to personal reasons. So the quota was given to Lin Fei. Lin Fei should be a guest of running men like himself. In theory, I must walk to the small town like myself, forcing myself to do the same. But why did he? Can you ride an electric bike? Zheng Kairen was confused and said, You're Lin Fei, right? Lin Fei nodded and said, Yes. Why can you ride an electric bike? Zheng Kai asked excitedly. Lin Fei's calm answer. Of course, it's because the electric bike is parked on the side of the road. Can't you just scan the QR code and ride it? In this hot weather, wouldn't someone really walk 3 kilometers so honestly? Hee, come on, I'll leave first. Lin Fei twisted the throttle and headed straight away. Zheng Kai was alone and disorderly in the wind. Sleeping slot. Can that electric bike be ridden? But isn't the task of the production team to walk to the small town? Wait. Although the program team requested it this way. But it didn't say that not walking will result in punishment. So can we say that those few electric cars were intentionally arranged shortcuts by the production team? Only smart players have a chance to enjoy it. Absolutely, that's right. Otherwise, Lin Fei's arrogant riding of an electric bike should have been cleaned up long ago. The more Zheng Kai thought about it, the more he felt uncomfortable in his heart. Lin Fei is riding an electric bike. Don't be too carefree. In contrast, walking honestly is like cerebral palsy. No, I have to go back and ride my bike. Otherwise, I will definitely be so angry that I can't sleep tonight. Zheng Kai did not hesitate. I turned around directly. Walking towards the starting point. This scene. The barrage in the live broadcast room caused a stir. Ah. Zheng Kai turned around. What's the situation? He won't be, misled by Lin Feigang's words, ready to go back and share the electric bike, right? Ha ha ha. My brothers, laugh first as a gesture of respect. I can't stand it, my stomach hurts from laughing. Grab the bamboo shoots. Lin Fei is a real dog. Zheng Kai walked back all the way. I think there will be a tram riding soon. My mood became increasingly excited. The steps also become faster and faster. I quickly took a different path from Lin Fei and took a detour back to the starting point. When Zheng Kai reaches the starting point, I happened to see Shai standing next to the electric scooter. When he met the senior, Zheng Kai immediately greeted him. Teacher Shai. What are you doing? Shai saw that it was Zheng Kai, greeted him and said. I'm hesitating whether or not to ride the electric bike here. Isn't it stipulated by the production team that only walking is allowed? So I'm worried that the electric cars here have been tampered with. Zheng Kai shook his head firmly upon hearing these words. Don't worry, there's absolutely no passive tampering. These cars. Actually, it's a shortcut left by the director's team for us. Subsequently, Zheng Kai recounted his encounter with Lin Fei. I told Shai to listen. After listening, Shai suddenly enlightened. So it's like this. That seems like I overthought it. These cars are really fine. Old Yao, that guy is really nice. Let's go together. Zheng Kai responded with a sound. Together with Shai. I rode the electric bike happily on the road. On the way. Shai couldn't help but sigh. That Lin Fei is really brave. I said I had to walk over, but I didn't hesitate to scan the shared battery car. At first glance, it's my first time participating in a running boy competition and I haven't suffered from director Lao Lu's mistakes. But thanks to him being a guinea pig, we were able to confirm that these electric cars could be ridden. Zheng Kai nodded in agreement. We have to thank him well when we arrive at the hotel. However, at this moment, with two strange noises appearing, the shared battery car of the two turned off together. No matter how hard you press the accelerator, you won't be able to start. Lie down. The engine has turned off. What's the situation? Zheng Kai is a bit confused. Old Jianghu Shai got off the car and tinkered for a while. I immediately discovered the reason. This tram must have been tampered with by the production team. Zheng Kai was greatly puzzled. That's not right. So why is Lin Fei okay? I think it's not that the production team messed around, it's the two of us who were unlucky enough to just pick the problematic tram. We can go back again. Shai doesn't have any other ideas either. The audience sees this. Everyone burst into laughter. We need to thank him. Well, Zheng Kai laughed at me so much that he sold it to Lin Fei and helped him count the money. He also tricked Shai. I'm so happy. Ha ha ha. At this point, the camera master behind cannot continue to watch. Directly told them the answer. Don't go back and waste your time. Lin Fei's car is actually broken. But he fixed it. Shai. What? Zheng Kai. What? Lin Fei, that social anxiety celebrity, actually knows how to repair cars. What international joke is this? Shai was shocked and stunned. And Zheng Kai almost fainted without a breath. I had already walked halfway. Now not only do we have to go back, I still have to push a broken tram. And all of this was because Lin Fei suddenly stopped and said that sentence to himself. Lin Fei, that guy must have been intentional. Lin Fei. You old six. P.S. Kneel down and beg for flowers and review tickets. Thank you all. The new book is on its way, and these data are really important. They are the driving force that supports me to continue writing. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. There are 5 rewards, and 1 yuan is enough. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. If the flowers exceed 3,000, I will have 10 updates. Chapter 7. Enemy meets with extra red eyes. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On the scorching oil road. Shai and Zheng Kai pushed the electric scooter with a bitter expression on their faces. Zheng Kai muttered the words, Lin Fei, in his mouth. The more I think in my heart, the more angry I become. He posed for himself. I just thought about waiting at the hotel to thank him. This is for someone to sell and still helping people with money. He can imagine just how the audience in the live broadcast room laughed. Hey! Shame on you. 5 minutes later. Lin Fei has already arrived at the destination first. Taoyuan Township Grand Hotel. He sat resting under the shade of a tree. It took about 7 or 8 minutes. Other contestants arrived one after another. Firstly, there is Bailu. Then there are Zhou Shen, Li Cheng, and others. There are many roads leading to the town. They seem to have come down a different path. So I didn't encounter Lin Fei riding an electric scooter before. Zhou Xia, Li Cheng's gaze towards Lin Fei was somewhat subtle. Because Lin Fei is a well-known oddball in the entertainment industry. In theory, even if Brother G is burnt out, it is impossible for Lin Fei to participate in the male running. It can be said that Lin Fei's participation in the male running is entirely due to Bailu's credit. Although the guests didn't say anything about it. But my heart is like a mirror. Lin Fei is definitely eating Bailu's soft rice. As a big man, he is both socially fearful and eats women's soft meals. This made them somewhat contemptuous of Lin Fei in their hearts. Bailu didn't think too much about it. I am very happy to prepare to say hello to Lin Fei. But just when she was about to speak. A sharp shout. Suddenly, it came from afar. Lin Fei. You bastard who received 1,000 cuts. Look at me, I'll hammer you to death. Bailu and her companions were startled and quickly turned their heads. As a result, Song Yuqi left an electric scooter on the roadside. Then he angrily rushed towards Lin Fei. Lin Fei quickly said, Lin Sang, why are you so stingy? Let him go with the past. You scumbag. How could you still call me like that? Song Yuqi was furious and swung her small fist at Lin Fei. And Lin Fei dodged on one side. Then he played around the pillars with Bailu and Song Yuqi, playing around the Qin King. Didn't you say you wanted to change your surname to Lin yourself? It seems like there's no problem with me addressing you that way, right? You're still burying me. I owe you smoking, right? Okay, I won't shout like that anymore. Stop chasing me. No way. Bully me on the plane. Bully me again on the way to town. If I don't beat you up today, I won't be able to sleep at night. Even if I'm not right about what happened on the plane, why did I bully you halfway? How dare you mention it? Just fix the car yourself and run away. Leave me alone on the roadside. Young people, exercise more. It's for your own good. Fart. The scene of Song Yuqi chasing Lin Fei. Let Bailu, Zhou Qi and the others stare blankly. Bailu. What's the situation? When did Lin Fei and Yuqi's relationship get so good? Li Cheng twitched his lips and said, are you sure this is a good relationship? How do I feel like the two of them are enemies? Zhou Xia looked puzzled. Just now, Song Yuqi said that Lin Fei repaired the car halfway and ran away on his own. What does that mean? How can I not understand? At this moment, a mournful and angry roar suddenly came over. Lin Fei. You devil. I fought with you. Everyone was surprised again. Turn your head. I saw Zheng Kai and Sha Yi arrived. They are both pushing an electric scooter. Zheng Kai, like Song Yuqi, threw the electric scooter towards the roadside. Then he directly killed Lin Fei. That expression. It seems as if one's chastity has been taken away. Zhou Wei was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth. What kind of anger and resentment did Lin Fei do to them? At this moment, the staff of the production team shouted with a microphone. All the guests are here. Next, please gather all guests at the entrance of Taoyuan Township Hotel. Song Yuqi and Zheng Kai heard a sound. I stopped walking unwillingly. Just glaring angrily at Lin Fei. And Lin Fei hid behind Bailu. Poor, said Bailu, Sister Bailu, they bullied me. Bailu's head was covered in black lines and she said, how do I feel? Are you bullying them? He's just bullying me. Song Yuqi stood up angrily. Take the things on the plane and the things on the way to the town. All have been explained. Zheng Kai also shed tears and tears, recounting his tragic experience. Everyone finished listening. I was so shocked that my chin was about to fall to the ground. Bailu stared at Lin Fei. Suddenly remembered that night. Lin Fei played tricks on himself. His social anxiety is it cured? Zhou Xiao stared at Lin Fei. A face full of disbelief. Is this guy social anxiety? Can social anxiety do such a thing? Are they social terrorists, right? The most outrageous thing is, he can actually repair cars. Why is he interested in repairing cars as an idol? The strangeness of this matter. It's like the 7 fairies performing a pole dance in front of the Jade Emperor. Li Cheng and Fan Qingqing both have similar ideas. In short, the impression of Lin Fei among the guests present. Completely refreshed. Teacher Shai. Zheng Kai felt aggrieved like a little daughter. Law kicked out of bed by her husband. When the show starts, we can't be in the same group as Lin Fei. Shai nodded in tears and laughter. Okay. Subsequently. No more, no less, 12 guests walked together towards the entrance of the Taoyuan Township Hotel. When they arrived, The staff of the production team seems to have been waiting for a long time. P.S. Kneel down and beg for flowers and review tickets. Thank you all. The new book is on its way, and these data are really important. They are the driving force that supports me to continue writing. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. There are 5 rewards, and 1 yuan is enough. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. If the flowers exceed 3,000, I will have 10 updates. Chapter 8 Yao PD. You are desperate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Welcome everyone to Taoyuan Township Hotel. This is the starting point of our latest season's program. Ladies and gentlemen, we will also welcome our first challenge here. The staff spoke incessantly. When you hear the words, challenge, the guests participating in the program all felt a hint of nervousness. In the live broadcast room of the program, the audience is quite excited. The task of walking 3 kilometers before can only be considered a joke by the production team. The real task has only begun now. I skipped class directly. Even dogs don't attend evening self-study. I don't know what kind of surprise this season's running boy will give me. Looking forward to it. Under the expectant gaze of the audience, the staff mentioned the content of the task. Behind the Taoyuan Township Hotel, there is a lake, and in the center of the lake, there is a small island. We have prepared 12 gifts on the island, and each guest is limited to 1, which is exactly enough for 1 person. These gifts vary in quality and are closely related to subsequent tasks. So the earlier the contestant lands on the island, the better the gift they can receive and seize the opportunity in the next mission. We have set up some simple mechanisms around the central island. Our task today is very simple, it's to break through those mechanisms and get gifts from the island. The staff finished speaking. Zheng Kai was somewhat eager to try. This time, we must take advantage of the opportunity to complete the task and wipe out our previous shame. He can't wait and wants to retaliate against Lin Fei while completing the task. He may not be the first, but Lin Fei must be behind him. Song Yuqi also kept an eye on Lin Fei. If you give me a chance, I will humiliate you severely. Lin Fei chuckled and said, humiliate me severely. What kind of humiliation method? Let's hear it. Song Yuqi said fiercely, I'll kick you into the lake. Upon hearing this, Lin Fei shifted his gaze towards Song Yuqi's feet. After staring for a while, he gently shook his head and said, you can't do this. Ah. What does that mean? Song Yuqi was a bit confused. Lin Fei said somewhat helplessly, if you're wearing black or white silk, maybe you can kick me, but the flesh-colored silk you're wearing doesn't poke me at all. I guess you can't even see my taillights. Speak this out. The air is instantly quiet. In the live broadcast room, the barrage mysteriously disappeared. But a few seconds later, it suddenly emerged like a locust. Crazy screen swiping. Ha ha ha. I'm laughing to death. What kind of words are these? I didn't even realize what Lin Fei meant at the first moment. But when I regained my senses, I found the wheels of the car running over my face. Are you sure Lin Fei is social anxiety? I, as a social bully, am willing to bow down in front of him. If anyone tells me that Lin Fei is social anxiety in the future, I will give him his favorite big ear scraper. On-site filming of the program. Song Yuqi was stunned for a while. Her pretty face suddenly turned red. This is clearly teasing oneself. She lifted her foot and kicked towards Lin Fei. You bastard. Lin Fei deftly dodged. He smiled and said. It said that wearing flesh-colored silk won't kick me, why don't you believe in evil? Song Yuqi. Bailu is speechless. Lin Fei is very happy to be able to overcome the shadow of social anxiety. But is this getting rid of too thoroughly? At this point, the staff coughed awkwardly. All right, guests, get ready and we can set off for the lakeside. The words fell. Lin Fei's gaze fell on the electric scooter. And prepared for the sprint. Program backstage. Upon seeing this scene, Director Yao's head was covered in black lines. He wouldn't have thought of the electric scooter coming over, would he? The assistant director said, be more confident and remove the word not knowing. If he were to use the same method and take 2 loopholes, where would our program team face? Director Yao immediately took out the walkie-talkie. Added a rule. The competition must start after all the guests have arrived at the lakeside. Cut. Lin Fei could tell at a glance that this was targeting himself. Glancing at the camera. Then we walked to the lake with other guests. This lake is not quite large. It has a radius of approximately 1890 meters. If there is a bridge, it can take a few seconds to reach the end. In fact, there are indeed 2 bridges on the lake's surface. But none of them are bridges in the general sense. One of the bridges is a flat wooden bridge, divided into several sections by colorful walls and doors. Another bridge, made of plastic, is suspended on the water surface and adorned with intimidating water mechanisms. The staff distributed life jackets while saying, those 2 bridges are the only road leading to the small island in the middle of the lake. The bridge on the left is called the One Bridge. Above the bridge, there are 6 levels. At the front of each level, a puzzle is set. The answer to the puzzle, input it into the computer, and the door will automatically open. On the other hand, if you answer incorrectly, the bridge deck will collapse, causing the person answering the question to fall into the water. The other bridge, called Wu Bridge, also has 6 levels on it. Although there are no puzzles, it is impossible to pass easily unless you have the ability to fly over eaves and walls. The competition has started now, and guests can freely choose whether to pass through Wenxiao or Wuqiao. After the life jackets were issued, I finished speaking. The staff retreated directly to the side. After several guests looked at each other for a while. All eyes focused on the steep water level. In the first level, there are 4 fixed round balls on the water surface. The nearby water gun is continuously spraying water. It can be imagined how slippery and difficult it is to walk. Shai swallowed his saliva and said, be good, this water level is really challenging for people to pass. How come I feel like I can't even pass when King Kong comes? The other guests nodded in agreement. Then I stared at that perverted water level and stared blankly. After a while, Li Qing gritted his head and said, I'll try Wuqiao. He took a few steps back. Then he charged towards the entrance of the level. It only takes 2 seconds. He fell straight into the water. Zhou Xiao was dumbfounded at the sight. I couldn't help but sigh. Did it fall into the water in just 2 seconds? Isn't that too difficult? After a while, Li Cheng, who has become a drowned rat, has returned. Sadly and indignantly, he said. If there were 18 layers of hell, Director Yao would definitely be locked at the bottom. Bailu looked at the water level. I couldn't help but shudder and then said, let's go try the nearby Wenxiao. The others nodded in agreement. We walked over together. The first level. A computer with only 1 door and 1 touch screen. A difficult problem is displayed on the computer. The ratio of the number of students who met the physical education standards to the number of students who did not meet the standards at Yuqi Elementary School was 3.5. Later, 60 students met the standards, and the number of students who met the standards was 9/11 of the number of students who did not meet the standards. How many students did Yuqi Elementary School have in total? At the moment of seeing this problem, all the guests were dumbfounded. Sleeping slot. What a special thing, it's actually a math problem. Life may deceive you, but mathematics does not, because not knowing mathematics means not knowing. I feel that earning a small goal is easier than solving math problems. Yao PD, you have lost all your conscience. For a while. All the guests didn't stare at the nearby water level. Just stare at the math problem in front of you. P.S. Kneel down and beg for flowers and review tickets. Thank you all. The new book is on its way, and these data are really important. They are the driving force that supports me to continue writing. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. There are 5 rewards, and 1 yuan is enough. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. If the flowers exceed 3,000, I will have 10 updates. Chapter 9. Crossing the Bridge. Dogs are nothing but a rebel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are generally 2 options for obtaining a driver's license for a small car. C1 or C2. C1 is a manual transmission, which is more difficult. C2 is an automatic transmission, much simpler. If you don't have confidence in taking the C1 exam, you can take the C2 exam. More choices about the meaning of existence. Basically, it's like taking a driver's license exam, making it easier for people to achieve their goals. The Running Male program team doesn't play cards according to common sense at all. This is a cultural and military bridge. The difficulty of passing the level is all like climbing to the sky. Make the listener sad and the witness shed tears. Li Cheng was staring at both bridges with a cockeyed expression. I couldn't decide which path to take in my heart. He hesitated for a long time. Suddenly noticed a problem. The distance between the lakeside and the small island in the center of the lake. It's only 1890 meters. Li Cheng's eyes lit up and he immediately asked the staff next to him. As long as you can get to the small island in the middle of the lake, no matter what method you use, right? The staff nodded. The director said so. Li Cheng. Then I swam over and shouldn't have committed a foul, right? The staff still smiled and said, if you can swim through, of course it counts as passing the level. That's the director's original words. After speaking, Li Cheng looked at the small island in the middle of the lake in the distance and still played the drums of retreat. Sha Yi, Zheng Kai, Zhou Qi, and others. They also dispelled this idea one by one. You can see from the shore that there isn't really much distance, but you only know how far it is after diving. And there are no protective measures in the water. In case of drowning, that's not worth the loss. Hey! The path of swimming is passed. Li Cheng sighed helplessly. Then he said, what I'm most afraid of is mathematics. It's better to go to Wuqiao. Shai, Zhou Qi, Li Cheng, and Baby followed with a dejected expression. Soon. A group of 12 people formed the Wenxiao strategy team and the Wuqiao strategy team, respectively. The people who stay on this side of Wenxiao. I thought all I had to do was endure the torture of math problems. I soon realized that I was too naive. Standing on the one bridge, there was no answer for more than 5 minutes. It will be sprayed like a drowned rat by a water gun. I answered the question incorrectly. The person answering the question will fall directly into the lake. The most frustrating thing is, after successfully answering the question, the first person passes through the door. The door will immediately close automatically. Others want to go. Sorry, please answer the question again. That is to say, the wisdom of the team is of little use. We must rely on ourselves. Lin Fei dozed off while looking at the math problems on the screen. The program team really put a lot of effort into implementing these rules. Just as Lin Fei hesitated, it was time to choose between Wenxiao and Wuqiao. Suddenly, the sound of the system rang out in his mind. Congratulations to the host for triggering the rebellious selection, option 1. Surrender to the authority of the production team, honestly pass the level, reward. Wisdom +1, option 2. Ignoring the rules and focusing on rebellion. What kind of literary bridge or martial bridge, buddy, today is just not crossing the bridge. Swim over directly. Reward. Master level unlocking skill. Seeing the content of this rebellious choice, Lin Fei suddenly smiled. No matter how carefully planned the game is by his production team, I just don't participate. Playing is just a rebellion. Anyway, you didn't say that swimming over is a violation and will result in punishment. Since that's the case, what are you still struggling with? Just swim over. Lin Fei thought so. Just took a step and walked towards the lake. At the same time, the teams on both sides of Wenxiao and Wuqiao, everyone started to pass the levels with great enthusiasm. On the other side of Wuqiao, Li Cheng transformed into a pioneer. The main feature is a python. 1 minute. Fall into the water 3 times in a row. I rushed to the second level. On the other side of Wenxiao, Han Geng was the first to try answering the question. The result was a magnificent smash into the water. Caught up by a lifeguard carrying an oxygen tank. Zheng Kai is the second to attempt. As a result, European gas exploded. I came up with a multiple-choice question. I was stunned in the live broadcast room of the program. Occasionally, barrage comments like "ha ha ha" will float by. The atmosphere is quite cheerful. At this point, suddenly, a sharp-eyed audience member raised a question. By the way, what is Lin Fei doing? This issue immediately caught the attention of many people. I didn't see him, neither Wenxiao nor Wuqiao. He seems to have not yet climbed the bridge. Ah. He's not still struggling with which bridge to take, is he? I think it's probably like this. There's nothing to be conflicted about, just be reckless. He's just dawdling like this, he's definitely going to collapse. Actually, it's normal. After all, it's his first time participating in the Running Man game and he's not used to this kind of difficult game. It seems that there has been a significant increase in bullet comments about Lin Fei. The footage of the production team cut towards Lin Fei. I saw that Lin Fei neither had the bridge above. I didn't go to Wuqiao either, but arrived at the lakeside between the 2 bridges. In the barrage, many question marks have drifted by. Many viewers are curious, what is Lin Fei doing? Some even speculate. Have you been hit by difficulties? And at this moment, in the camera, with a popping sound, Lin Fei jumped into the water. After a moment of silence, the barrage in the live broadcast room exploded directly. P.S. Kneel down and beg for flowers and review tickets. Thank you all. The new book is on its way, and these data are really important. They are the driving force that supports me to continue writing. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. There are 5 rewards, and 1 yuan is enough. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. If the flowers exceed 3,000, I will have 10 updates. If you can swim through chapter 10, I'll give it to you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sleeping slot. Why did Lin Fei suddenly jump into the water? He didn't want to swim over, did he? I suggest removing the 3 words won't be. He couldn't have accidentally dropped it, could he? Just now I took the lead in riding an electric scooter, and now I'm taking the lead in diving and swimming, highlighting an unusual path. Can you still pass the level like this? Ha ha ha. If he can really get by today, I'll call him Fei Gu in the future. The edge of Wenxiao. Song Yuqi is walking slowly forward. She occasionally reached out to touch the beads of sweat on her forehead. I have already buried the despicable Yao PD in my heart 10,000 times. Such a big sun. Just let them walk 3 miles. Surprisingly, they even set up the game venue outdoors. This kind of behavior is simply despicable. Bailu is not far from Song Yuqi. I am racking my brains to solve the problem. Not long after, a desperate expression appeared on his face. After Zheng Kai passed by, he refreshed a math Olympiad question. Who can solve this? Speaking, Bailu looked up at the scorching sun. Depressed, he said. I have to sunbathe as a black person today, wasting all the money on skin care. At this moment, Song Yuqi had already walked to Bailu's side. After reading the math Olympiad questions, immediately move your gaze away with a headache. Seemingly thinking of something, he said somewhat puzzled. What about Lin Fei? I remember he was following me, why hasn't he come over for half a day? Bailu also felt a bit strange. Yeah. I haven't seen anyone from Lin Fei. He won't be still struggling with which bridge to take at the starting point, will he? At this point, suddenly, the sound of splashing water came from above the lake. Bailu instinctively glanced at the lake surface. Discover the source of underwater sound. It is a figure swimming in the lake. Bailu murmured. Is it the lifeguard arranged by the program team? How leisurely. I can still have the mood to swim around. Song Yuqi was somewhat envious. Swimming in this weather is so comfortable, I really want to soak in the water too. Bailu nodded in agreement. At this moment, the swimmers suddenly hung motionless on the water, turned around towards her, and then said hello. Yo ho, are you solving the problem? This voice sounds very familiar. Bailu and Song Yuqi quickly looked up at the person. It doesn't matter if you don't look. Look at this. Petrochemical on the spot. Shout in unison. Lin Fei. Bailu was completely confused. What are you doing in the water? Lin Fei faced Wen Xiao and began backstroking. Isn't that very obvious, swimming? Keep going, I'll leave first. See you at the finish line later. Speaking, Lin Fei continued to swim forward. Song Yuqi was stunned for a while before regaining her senses. Can't resist roast. Isn't this person too weird? Surprisingly, I actually jumped into the water and swam. Bailu, do you think he can swim through? Bailu hesitated for a moment and answered. It's unlikely, after all, it's such a long distance. Song Yuqi nodded and said. Well, I think so too. The second level of Wenxiao. Zheng Kai looked at the problem on the screen. I feel anxious to vomit blood. The first level is a math problem. The second level turned into a physics question. He is a little better at mathematics. But physics is really clueless. Goddamn crew. What an inappropriate person. Zheng Kai couldn't help but let out a mournful cry. Feeling a bit dejected, he sat down on the ground. He felt sad for a while and began to console himself. Although I can't pass the second half day, my progress should be the fastest. Lin Fei and the others are still experiencing headaches in the first level. Please comfort me in this way. Zheng Kai felt his whole body full of motivation. He stood up and racked his brains to continue answering the questions. Just when he felt his brain was about to crack open, a pleasant voice rang out. The answer is correct. Congratulations on completing the level. Great. Zheng Kai was so moved that he almost burst into tears. And at this moment. Oh. Lin Fei's voice suddenly came from his ear. Lin Fei has reached the second level so quickly. Zheng Kai was greatly surprised and quickly turned back. But the door behind him was tightly closed. There is no one else in the second level besides him. Zheng Kai looked confused. Am I hallucinating? I'm here. But at this moment, Lin Fei's voice came back. Zheng Kai was startled. Hurry up and look around. Even the sky hasn't been spared. Then I realized that the sound seemed to come from below. He quickly lowered his head and looked under the bridge. Look at this. He was so shocked that he almost widened his eyes. Lin Fei surprisingly looked comfortable backstroking in the water. Sleeping slot. You're not planning to swim to the small island in the middle of the lake, are you? That's right, Lin Fei said. With such a big sun, would a fool honestly do the exercises? Zheng Kai heard these words. I almost vomited a mouthful of blood. How do you feel like Lin Fei's idiot is talking about himself? The position of the first level. Song Yuqi also heard Lin Fei's words. The root of my teeth is itching with anger. How could this person be so cheap? Don't forget to bury others even after swimming. Song Yuqi shouted angrily. Lin Fei. You'll be rescued from exhaustion halfway through the game later. See how I mock you. Lin Fei smiled and asked, what if I swam over? Song Yuqi snorted and said. Ghost, how could it be? If you can really swim through, I'll serve you as a maid to bring tea and water at night. Bailu was momentarily stunned, a bit unable to laugh or cry. Yuqi, that's too much to say. Aren't you afraid that Lin Fei can really swim through? Swim over. You think he's the world swimming champion, it's impossible. Song Yuqi was very confident. And at this moment, the riot in the program finally caught the attention of the production team. Director Yao watched the live broadcast footage. Just laughed out loud. How could this kid really want to swim over there? It's too imaginative. The deputy director, on the other hand, said with some concern. However, the distance between the small island in the middle of the lake and the shore is not too far, if you really want to say it. Some professional athletes also have the opportunity to swim over. What if Lin Fei really swam over? Director Yao confidently said. That's the way it is said, but that kind of skilled swimmer might be able to count with just one hand. How could that kid Lin Fei be? If he can swim to the small island in the middle of the lake today, my name will be written upside down. P.S. Kneel down and beg for flowers and review tickets. Thank you all. The new book is on its way, and these data are really important. They are the driving force that supports me to continue writing. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. There are 5 rewards, and 1 yuan is enough. If the review ticket exceeds 300, I will have 10 updates. If the flowers exceed 3,000, I will have 10 updates.